with it, man. Don't screw up once. All right. That was a thrilling display, and if I may be so vaunting, the warriors I spun from your aether fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth, after all. We shall wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robes of a warder, and I would be very curious to what drove him to attack us sight unseen. Vamron, he stirs. Bro, what the fuck? What what came over me? It's coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm of desperation, anger. I left at you, though I knew not of your intentions. Pray, accept my apologies, and my thanks. Had you not knocked some sense back into me, I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. That's what I do. I am Ericathronus, a warder of Athletus, Pandemonium's highest layer, and the place we are in now. One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandemonium? Their creations entered within Asplosis have been set free and stalk its halls to no end but violence. That is not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? No, never. Each level of Pandemonium is under the charge of a key ward, who keeps strict control minute over the most minute aspects of their domain. They're selected with great care, and their loyalty to Master La Habrea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realize that I have become separated from my colleagues. I remember a chorus of whispers assailing my senses, and afterwards only flashes of rage and fury, then blackness, from which I awoke to find that whatever had overcome me was gone. I see. Your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind, perhaps the self same ones that saw you separated from the other warders. Whatever has taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you have come here from the surface must mean some word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Horrors among horrors. So Pandemonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within by the same individual or individuals that released its captives and set them upon you, no doubt. Such knowledge avails us little, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Themis, was it? You said you worked for an organization under the auspice of the convocation. Were they to receive word of what has transpired here, what measures would they take? Doubtless they would consider this place to be a lost cause. Pandemonium's ties to the outside world would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. As I thought, were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of La Habrea would never risk that, despite that what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reasons to work with haste. If we can't expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. You would go alone? I won't leave the other warders to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They won't abandon their duty. They will see the creatures return to their cells at all costs. And so I must do the same, Themis. I know the request I'm about to make of you is a monumental one, but please, say not a word of this to the convocation until I've been given the chance to set things right. Forgive my rudeness. His name's Eric now. Forgive my rudeness, Eric, but my decision cannot be swayed by emotions. You would only be co signing yourself to an early death. Strength of resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back ere we make an exhaustive survey. So, for the time being, there is slightly more than resolve to rely upon. I knew you would be all too eager to join us. Each moment you, each moment since you fell from the sky has been more interesting than the last. More and more, you remind me of my dear friend, which goes some way towards encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. So you agree to help? For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of Pandemonium yet hold. So, for the moment's time, is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Vamron have set us upon. Themis and Vamron, yes? Thank you. The Waters owe you a great debt already. We shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandemonium halls by our side. A party of three is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of two. Now, let us turn our attention to rescuing your colleagues. Perhaps it would be wise to approach the gates, in case any have followed you out. And direct hit. Oh, this place is so awesome. It seems our investigations will be quite an ordeal after all. Still, I find it hard to believe that La Habrea knows not of what has transpired here. Whoever the mastermind of this crisis is, they do not lack for power and cunning. Not a sound can be heard from within. which means neither creature nor water has made it this far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once. Forgive me if I understand, but you mean to rescue the waters and creations both? Naturally, although they may be dangerous, they're valuable research subjects, and won't see our labor, our untold hours of study, go to waste. I dare say La Habrea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him. Smile. I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. I've seen him laugh. I've heard him laugh a lot. Ah, so you have met him before. I was under the impression he rarely visited Pandemonium. I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility. That is to say, La Habrea's predecessor in the position of Chief Keyword. Her name was Athena, and she was a researcher with the words. Was she who appointed me to this position, in fact. I see. I did not know there was a Chief Keyword before La Habrea. Your motivations to save your research subject is not entirely driven by duty to the words, then. You wish also to preserve the work of your mentor. You're, you've the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas about how to go about that, however. I'm a mere mortal and cannot wield intermittent magic. Ah, but of course, I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use here. If you recall, during our battle earlier, I bound you in etherical shackles. Interment is a more refined and powerful magic based upon the same principles. While both are used to keep our subjects docile, only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use interment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Fascinating. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcraft, actually. Lahabra himself established their foundation, if I recall. While shackles are meant to bind an object in place for a short time, interment freezes the very space around it for as long as the caster wills. Indeed. While the illusionary beings you summoned in our fight suggested as much, I see your knowledge of magic is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of interment, and I've been lecturing you like a child all this time. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understandings of how the invocations interact with natural laws that would be needed to cast said spells with any consistency. While I consider myself well versed in various magics, I would be ill advised to assume the duties of keywords without instructions. That being said, if I were to learn more of interment and its inner workings, perhaps. Well, you have a water standing in front of you. Well, the solution is obvious when you put it like that. Eric, you implied that what prevented you from performing interment was a lack of magical capacity. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I can't say for certain. I've never had such thing being done. I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites and incantations flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep, and we would have to start over. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spells cast so many times that their motions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Very well. Let us work out those specifics afterwards. Once we do, we can test out our methods on one of the escape creatures, though I suppose there is the matter of finding one. It would be foolish to rush in blindly, lest we find ourselves surrounded with naught but an untested stratagem at our disposal. Nay, I would prefer to engage a single creature that Vamron could dispatch on his own if the spell were to go awry. I agree, and I may have an idea in that regard. I recall seeing the hippoc- hippocamos wandering the waterway during my flight. Perhaps it's still there. Few of the subjects housed within Asclepios are fond of water, and I believe we were able to engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. The next shall be our first target, or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the intimate magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with that task. As dependable as ever. Once you have given it a thorough trouncing, we shall bind the Hippocross with the keyword's magic. Until then, my illusion shall fight by your side. The Hippocrates will be alone, but it is a daunting opponent nonetheless. Magic warps the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. Alright, round two. The second circle. I was just thinking if you were one. I take it we are each ready to fulfill our respective roles. Truth be told, this will be the first time I have practiced magic that requires such a degree of cooperation between parties. How thrilling. Athena ever drove home the fact that our subjects should be treated with the utmost care. It would be best if we could see them confined once again, rather than disposing of beasts gone feral. So Vish, any tips, tricks that you could recommend? Kill boss, don't die. Thanks. That's that's why you're the leader of raids, huh? All right. It's the ultimate strategy. I mean, it's nice, it's simple, it's always effective. Well, hello, good sir. How are you doing today? Or evening, rather. Rolled alley. Well, but I'm glad you're awake now. Welcome back to the waking world. All right, Vish. Time to see if we can perform your strategy. I've seen clips of this boss from Lulu's stream. Oh, hello, angry puppy. All right, let's see. Yes, Tank Buster. Oh, we were supposed to stack for that. Okay. Oh, I'm out of mana. I'm out of mana. I'm out of mana. Okay.